The Catalan newspaper Sport is reporting that Barcelona are targeting Julian Alvarez as a replacement for Robert Lewandowski, and that he has a €50 million release clause in his contract with Manchester City. Nedum, I'm sure you find the first part plausible, that maybe Alvarez one day would make a fine replacement for Lewandowski. But what about this release clause business and this whole secret release clauses that all these Man City players like Erling Haaland supposedly have, but nobody can ever talk about?
Yeah, why can nobody ever come out and just discuss them? Like, why is it not a thing? Like, we spend so much time talking about people's theoretical salary and so on, all the other terms, but the clause, no one's making it seem like, well, if the public know the clause, then it means the player's going to go somewhere else. I don't know. If it's 50 million euros, who's that to benefit? You know what I mean? And I also think with some of these players, when they sign, if they're good enough for the club, they sign more than one deal. So that first deal is the first element. It's almost like the clause is to protect the club if it's not going well.
He hasn't signed a second deal yet, has he?
But that's the thing you say yet, because he's only been there a year.
Ah, I see where you're going with
You
this.
know what I mean? So I wouldn't be surprised if he got offered one in this next, say, year to 18 months.
Okay, so it's like the Erling Haaland. Like, I think 1,000% Erling Haaland probably does have a secret release clause at Man City because he's always had them before. He had them at Salzburg, he had them at Dortmund. He had all the leverage. He only, went there for 60, 70 million, whatever it was, in euros. Alvarez also had a release clause when he joined Manchester City, but he didn't have the leverage that Haaland did. So if I'm Man City, why would I give you a release? Normally you give a release clause in exchange if the player has the leverage to demand it, or in exchange for a lower salary if you're not sure you can afford to keep him, right? That's not the case with Alvarez, certainly not when he signed, because he probably wasn't on enormous money, hasn't signed his new deal yet. And if you're going to do it, why 50 million? Why not 100 million, right? If you're City. I mean, this is, I don't buy this secret release clause one bit.
Keep an eye on that.
If they did, that's a screw up from Chicky.
Yes,
if it does exist.
Which would surprise me. Yeah, which would surprise me.